Some people take up yoga later in life. Some people buy a camper van. But me, I started talking to a jar of fermented flour. I didn't see that coming, but here we are. For years, my kitchen was chaos. Packed lunches, lost socks, someone always shouting out, "Mum!" But now, it's just little old me. And a sourdough starter called Phillippa. But I'll tell you more about her in a moment. There's something about the smell of baking that just stops me in my tracks. Fresh bread or a cake in the oven, it's instant comfort. I think it goes right back to childhood, personally. My mum wasn't a particularly good cook. Meals were fine, no one died, but she was a brilliant baker, and that's what I remember. The smell drifting through the house, something cooling on the work surface, and the kitchen feeling all warm and delicious. It's funny, you know, I can't remember what we ate for dinner for about 15 years, but I can remember the smell of her scones. And for most of my adult life, I assumed that I wasn't that sort of person at all. I was the very practical one, very functional, very what can I cook in 20 minutes whilst also packing school bags and stopping the dog from chewing up yet another pencil. Food was fuel, and if everyone ate something and didn't complain too loudly, that counted as a success. Baking, for me, felt like faff. It felt like something that women in very pretty little linen aprons did in magazines. Meanwhile, I was just trying to locate clean socks and sign at least 12 permission slips before 8 a.m. There was always that buzz of urgency. Everything felt important and everything felt late, even if it wasn't. And then, gradually, it stopped. The children got older. They stopped needing me every 5 seconds. The house got quieter. Not empty, just less chaotic. And suddenly, I had time, which sounds lovely. But at first, it was weird. I kept thinking like I had forgotten something, like there should be a crisis happening somewhere. But no, it turns out that this is just what a normal Tuesday feels like. So now my days are slower. I go to the garden, I pick whatever has decided to grow. I come back with muddy carrots and at least 3 slugs that we didn't invite. I cook properly, not because I have to rush something onto plates, but because I actually feel like making something nice, which sort of still feels slightly indulgent. and every now and then I bake. Nothing fancy, just a cake or biscuits before the children come home. Partly because it's nice, but partly because I want them to have the same memory that I had. That something's baking feeling when you walk through the door. Although they're older now, they mostly just appear, eat half of it without speaking, and then disappear again like very polite locusts. But still, for me, the intention is there. And sometimes, and this is the best bit, I bake just for me. And I actually get to eat it. Not just the crumbs, not that sad squashed end piece of cake. No, an actual slice or a whole scone on a plate with a cup of tea. And not just a cup of tea, but a hot cup of tea. And then there's sourdough. I tried normal bread for years and honestly found it slightly stressful. There was all that kneading and punching and timing and proofing, and it felt weirdly aggressive, kind of like boot camp, but for dough. Sourdough is much more my speed. You mix it together. You give it a few lazy stretches and then you leave it alone. That's it. No upper body workout required. And if you forget about it for a bit, it's fine. If life gets busy, bung it in the fridge. If life gets overwhelming, bung it in the fridge. Actually, I think that might become my motto for life now. Just bung it in the fridge and deal with it later. As you may know, my sourdough starter is called Phillippa. Because apparently this is who I am now, a woman who names her fermented bacteria. But she is a friend, and friends have names. She bubbles away quietly. She needs feeding occasionally. She gets grumpy if she's ignored for too long. Yikes, saying that out loud sounds a bit like me. But mostly, she just gets on with it. No drama, no constant attention required. That is something I deeply respect in both people and bread. And then, in a while, you get this beautiful loaf that makes the whole kitchen smell amazing. It feels really satisfying for something that required so little fuss. And I think that's why I love it, because it matches this stage of life. I'm not rushing anymore. I'm not trying to prove anything. I don't want complicated. I don't want frantic. I just want slow, steady, quietly good things. A walk round the fields, coffee in the sun, bread in the oven, no one asking me where their library books are. No, I don't need that anymore. It's just bliss. And I suppose that's where the solitude bit comes in too. Because I used to think that being alone meant that something was wrong. But now I guard it fiercely. A bit of quiet time in the kitchen, creating something tasty. Nobody needing anything. No, it's not lonely. It's peaceful. There's a big difference. Loneliness is the pain of being alone, but solitude is the glory of being alone. As Liv Tyler once said, solitude has its own very strange beauty to it. So yes, midlife has apparently turned me into somebody who grows her own vegetables, talks to a sourdough starter, and gets quite excited about a good crust on a loaf of bread. If you had told 35-year-old corporate me that, she would have laughed. But honestly, do you know something? I wouldn't swap it, because sourdough and solitude is actually exactly my speed.